New tonight, some East Texas organizations are still recovering after federal funding cuts in 2025. Kilgore College paused its adult education and literacy program in August of last year. KLTV's Andrew Culver reports students were in the middle of that program and they were left wondering what they were going to do.
Yvonne Maldonado graduated from the Adult Education and Literacy program. She then became an educational assistant for the program for about 5 years. After the program closed, Maldonado and other instructors were laid off. Maldonado said she mainly worried about the students.
Many of our students, not even their own families, believe in them. So we became their support. It was very difficult to let the students know that we were not going to be there for them anymore.
The program offers free classes for students 19 and older looking for their high school diploma. Director of the program, Dr. Nicole Jimerson, says close to all the program's funding was halted during the government shutdown. Students still graduated on August 8th, but students in the middle of the program couldn't continue their education.
It kind of left them in limbo, like what do I do now? So it significantly hurt the community.
The program is set to reopen with its first GED enrollment session next week. Jimerson says the ultimate goal is to never put the students in the same situation. She hopes the students that were in the program come back.
Once the funds were released, we just step by step, little by little, getting it going.
It will create a huge impact, not just on the students, but the community.
Andrew Culver, KLTV 7 News.
The GED enrollment session is a week from tomorrow, January 27th, at Kilgore College's Longview campus. Enrollment starts at 9 in the morning. The doors close at 9:15. Late arrivals, we're told, will not be allowed in.